Okay, so I wanted to make a video, an interesting video, about snowmen. Snowmen, snowwomen, snow people. Okay, and what inspired me was this pillow over here. I was just looking over there and I'm like, when was the first snowman created? And so I got to looking up certain things. And I got quite a bit of information, but as far as the very, very first snow person to be built, it goes back to mid-century, even before then. Apparently when they were making, you know, art out of anything, including snow. And it's even in, I believe, northern China as well. Hold on a second. And then I was like, well, what would be the purpose of building a snowman? Now, I don't know, you stay with me here. A lot of people do certain things and they give it meaning, okay? Now, whether it be, let's say, back in the mid-century, you know, during cold winters, dark winters especially, it's not going to be lit up like everything is here. It could be symbolic to maybe like protection, you know how they use scarecrows in a way, or maybe they used it as a symbol of, you know, to have another person around. I know this sounds odd, but a lot of people that are end up in some form of solitude or away from civilization or just away from other people, end up creating things. Do you remember Castaway when he used that? I think it was a soccer ball or volleyball, and he called it Wilson, and he was talking to it, right? Well, there's a lot of people in history that have done certain things like that. They've given inanimate objects, you know, life. They've kind of created certain things so that they don't feel so lonely, so that, you know, they have something in the form of a human being, whether it be a doll or a face or a head or something like that. So yeah, I got to looking into it, and some interesting things came up. So it says, historian Bob Eckstein, author of History of the Snowman, stated that no one knows who invented the very first snowman. However, he feels that the first man of snow was made in the medieval times. The medieval book of Hours from 1380 contains the very first illustration so far that they've found. But it's been in lots of other cultures too. And then I was thinking, we do give things meaning. So I don't know if anybody else resonates with this, but sometimes people will place certain things. Let's say a water pump breaks, okay? And so the old one's broken, but they buy a replacement. However, they keep that old water pump broken close by the new water pump. They don't throw it out. And a lot of people that are not aware of what I'm speaking of would be like, well, why? What's the point of that? That's almost like on the borderline of hoarding. You start hoarding things. Well, certain people believe, because they give it meaning, as a child would, you know, you have little figurines, or you have a rock, or you have a shell, and you place it in certain places around the house, and you're not fully aware, you're not fully aware of why you're doing that, but it's just you feel compelled, and you have this urge, and you have the intuition to place specific things to protect your home, around your home. And also when it comes to objects or figurines, like the little angel there, or a person playing guitar and stuff like that, we give it energy, we give it meaning. And sometimes people will use that in the form of protection. And when I think about if it were to be like medieval times and stuff like that, well, one, it's going to be a heated place. Maybe if they're lucky they have like a fireplace or something like that. But at the same time, if they don't, the idea of having like stay with me now. This is just a download I got, and I'm just going with the flow. But in order to have something that symbolizes yourself, almost like the idea of a voodoo doll, right? So you have a snowman, and the snowman is made out of snow, so he's completely frozen. So instead of yourself being frozen, there's like a replacement there. And you don't ever have to worry about completely freezing over, because you've given it meaning that this is going to be what takes the place of that. So you can't possibly freeze because a version of yourself is already frozen. If that makes sense. I know it sounds a little bit obscene, but use your creative imagination here. What else did they say about it? History of the snowman. There was something else in here that I really... let's see. Something to do with Buddha. What else here? 7th century. Used to create not only the jolly snowman known and loved today, but rather scenes that were more spiritual in tone. One of the earliest records of a snowman also was from the 7th century, northern China. I think they said something about, yeah, here we go. It stated, followers of Buddha were given a blessing to build the man out of snow. And snowmen have been around for a very long time. Obviously, they've evolved over time. And I can't remember when it was, but when it was first, I think it was the 80s, 1980s or something like that, when they first televised it, or they put it up there. Let's see. Another idea was that they were used for social and political things. Also, again, with the whole idea of being secluded, or maybe even I get the idea of not necessarily a widow or something like that, but maybe in the hopes that a person would come home or something like that, symbolizing it. I got that flash in my head. I just see the meaning that we give behind certain things. Now, I haven't quite pinpointed what the carrot nose would be, which is really interesting, because some of the ones that I've seen for some of the pictures, right, they don't have any buttons, they don't have any coal, they don't have any pipes or nothing like that sticking out of their mouths. It's just like indented, literally made to like a sculpture almost. And I have a feeling we should be getting snow soon. Probably should have had this all lined up before I did the video, but you can kind of roll with me here on this. And you can have your own opinions about it, what you feel like the reason is. What else here? Author of the History of Snowman discovered the earliest known depiction in a manuscript, the Book of Hours. Now, I've yet to look that up. I'm interested, but he found it at a library in the Netherlands. And what else we got here? Oh, what's this? Some were created by famous artists, including a 19-year-old Michelangelo, who in 1494 was commissioned by the ruler of Florence, Italy, to sculpt a snowman in his mansion's courtyard, which is very interesting. I never knew that. That's kind of cool. In 1511, the townspeople of Brussels banded together to construct over 100 snowmen in a public art installation known as the Miracle of 1511. 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Interesting. We're going into the Year of the Dragon, 2024. That is 8. There's something else here to do with cavemen. I don't know exactly where that was. Interesting. 1511 took place during 6 weeks of sub-zero temperatures called the Winter of Death. Okay. City of Brussels. Let's see. Again, with the whole idea of you kind of making a version of yourself that's already frozen so that you don't freeze to death. I know that sounds a little obscure, but keep an open mind that sometimes, even back in the Middle Ages and stuff like that, when it comes to meanings given to certain things, we do things for protection, right? Yeah. Sometimes they were used for political reasons and religious reasons, which is interesting. I never even once thought that a snowman could be used as a religious thing, but it's true. Where's the one first? Oh, here it is. 1982, the original introduction. Raymond Briggs. That's the first time. I guess it got a good award or something like that. That's kind of cool. All this stuff I didn't know. I never thought to even look up. But it's really interesting. As you can see here, they kind of have a few things, but it's more like a sculpture when they did it. It was more like a sculpture. They didn't really just do the balls. The 3 different size balls and then sticks for arms. Right? Oh, this one's even got like a little puppy. If you can see that. Very cool. It wasn't always a corn pipe and 2 eyes made out of coal. No, I think they really did do it more like a sculpture. And even to this day, now they're still doing, they still make. Have you ever been to one of those events where they have nothing but, I think they do this in Quebec a lot, but they have all sorts of sculptures made out of snow and ice and stuff like that. It's beautiful. And some of them, there's places they even have like ice hotels and stuff like that, which I would really love to try one day. What's this? The earliest documented snowman he did find was an illuminated manuscript dating back to 1380. Unfortunately, the drawing found in the margins of the Book of Hours, a Christian prayer devotional, wasn't very PC. That's interesting. Constructed life-size snow statues on every street corner, which included politically charged displays and some adult-themed scenes. unveiled in what was this? Sculptor Larkin Mead, who, by the way, designed Abraham Lincoln's Springfield tomb, unveiling of an 8-foot-high snow and ice statue in Brattleboro, Vermont. The heavenly figure held a pen and a paper, so it became known as the Recording Angel. It was said to be so lifelike, schoolboys refrained from pelting it with snowballs. The New York Tribune Center reported to cover it. The image went worldwide, and Mead became a national phenomenon. That's really neat. Frosty the Snowman is a con artist. Instead of folk art, Lehman's Eckstein was a province of Michelangelo. Would devolve into a fun 1950 Gene Autry hit, 1955 short, and 1969 Jimmy Durant voice cartoon. That was never acknowledged, however. Ruth Herman's 1944 book, Snowy, the Traveling Snowman, which most people are aware of this one, which features magical singing snowman and all of Frosty's features. She didn't get any credit for any of the royalties. Ruth Herman. The songwriters ripped her off right down to the bumpity bump bump. Oh, that's rude. Anyways, I thought you'd think that interesting, and hope you liked it.